racist, a lunatic,
an N-word hater.
No.
But in the event of an emergency, your regular exit might not be the quickest or safest way
Hey,
out.
this emergency exit is painted on!
There's no way out. There's no way out.
Oh, that's right. This is what it sounds like when worlds collide, finding common ground and breaking the divide. This is Emergency Exit. This is episode 124. It is 10 on 10. This is October 7th.
It's the 7th.
It's the 7th.
It's the 7th on 10.
10 on 10.
But 10 on 10.
And we're here at Austin Public in our floating tin can.
Far above the world.
I am Los. Follow me on Twitter at That's Right Los. Joining me as always is Julius, Orange Julius Man Bad, Jimmy Preston.
Orange Julius Caesar Man Bad.
Follow him on Twitter at Jimmy Preston.
Jimmy Preston.
Streaming us live to the world. We are on Facebook, YouTube, what else?
Periscope,
Podbean.
we are even streaming the audio live
On
out to
Podbean.
podbean.com.
And of course, we are live on Channel 10 on Austin Public. Is Brandon the Hard Hat Mitchell? That's
Let's
right.
go to Let's go to Brando.
That
here.
applause makes me feel just so heartwarming. I love it. I love it, guys. Thank you.
Well, that applause is for you,
I
Brando,
know.
because you do all the hard work, man. You're pushing all the buttons. You've got all the cables. You actually have boxes and boxes
Nice
of
view of
cables.
them.
that you bring.
the way I remember it is I'm the one who carried in everything.
Yeah.
So
you did.
You know, kind of did what I had to do.
I'm the talent. So
Yeah, you guys are the talent, but let's be honest. I'm the whole reason the show gets broadcast.
That's
out there.
true.
Yeah.
How can you deny that? So
how do I do? We're doing a watch party.
we're doing a watch party. We're getting everything set. We know we did this. We're all ready to go. Jimmy has got. He just not set up in time. We're trying not to talk over each other. No cussing again. So today on the program, we're going to talk Citizens United, corporate personhood. I want you guys to give us a call if you guys want to voice your opinions. The number is down on the screen. But first, let's do a little brew world order.
It's the Brew World.
That's right. Brew World Order. Today we've got Austin East Cider's Watermelon Cider. I've never had the Watermelon Cider. I think it's relatively new. Have you had it before, Jimmy?
Let me just tell you something. Normally, when I see cider, I run.
Yeah.
I don't like to go to a cider. If I see beers and then I see ciders, I'm on the beer side normal because I just don't like the sweet.
Yeah,
You know?
neither.
But watermelon and cider should be great. I'm looking forward to it. I like East Ciders. Let's do it.
I mean, it's sweet. Tastes like apple juice. It's got some alcohol. 5% alcohol by volume. This is gonna get a 3, a bland 3.
A bland 3.
That's right.
It's not. I don't know if it's, because watermelon, whenever you jump into it, you think it's going to be just like so sweet.
I really
But it's
don't
actually
have it.
just a lot more water than it is sweet. That's why it's watermelon, So I'm going to say that this is understated, but it is fully advertising what it is, which is watermelon. And then a cider. Yeah, so
Based on integrity, you're giving it
2.6.
2.6. What about you, Brandon?
Oh, I had a few sips. Let me get one more. I'm not impressed by it, man. I got to give. I'm gonna give 2.5. That's right.
All right.
All right.
That's the Brew World Order.
I love our Brew World Order. Brew World Orders.
It's the Brew World. Say it again, Jimmy.
Brew World Order. Brew World Order. Got that clicking again. I don't know what's going on there.
I'm not really getting it.
Okay. So
Welcome to the program, you guys.
we've got a jam-packed show. So if you're joining us on the Facebook watch party that I just started, that's cool. If you're on the Podbeam, if you're on the YouTubes, or you're on the Facebooks, whatever the hell, it doesn't matter. We're live 10 at 10. We're on Channel 10. That's Austin Public
Channel 10 if you're in some stupid hotel around town, and maybe you're in town still, like you missed your flight home from ACL,
yeah.
and you just got all the Lizzie,
Lizzo?
Lizzo.
Was she there?
Lizzo was like the big thing, I think.
Something about her
ACL.
dropping a record 3 years ago, and then it's just getting traction like now-ish.
Just now she's getting traction, but at the same time she's like killing it. And I think a lot of the organizers, there's a lot of talk about her getting a bigger stage for next week, because it was like unsafe. Like it's one of those things. You ever been in one of those situations where you're like surrounded by so many people are like having a good time, but you know that maybe they're inebriated, and you're like, if anything terrible was to happen, we're all dead. Yeah,
it was that scary.
I wasn't there. I don't know what was going on, but I just got to think that's what was happening.
Did you go to ACL? You didn't go to ACL,
No,
did you?
I don't do ACL anymore. I mean, I don't do concerts or major festivals unless I'm working it. Or
get free tickets.
I get a free ticket.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So
I think we're all the same way.
But so listen, for the last couple weeks, I keep bringing up this thing called Citizens United.
Yeah.
And you've been.
I didn't really know what you're talking about at first.
You were
I never really heard about it.
I'm scared of this word that you're saying, and I don't. But you,
Dr. Jimmy again,
like a good person that cares about the world and our democracy. You understood that I was bringing up something that may be something bad in the stratosphere, and you went and educated yourself about it. Am I right?
I think we should all be a little bit more like that. I didn't just take him for his word. He did say something about corporations are people, and I don't know what to think about that. I wanted to do some research on it, and I feel like I have a pretty good little report here that we can talk. And you know what? There are some aspects of this that I can't agree with. There are many aspects that I absolutely agree with. But, before that, I spent, Saturday at the Texas State Fair.
Okay.
First time ever.
Wait, you went to the, what?
I went
this
to
your first time ever?
Howdy, folks.
But your mama lives in Dallas.
So I went up there to visit her, and we all went together.
The first time that y'all went as a family. So it was you and your mom, and did you bring your girlfriend?
Yeah, and
so
my
this is
mom.
the first time the girlfriend met mom.
Yeah, it was. She was very nervous.
Okay.
Very nervous to meet her.
Because she'd never met somebody from another ethnic background.
No, her baby daddy, his family is all Mexicans. So it's basically a step. I think
like
below or above. I'm not sure how Filipinos rank on that scale.
I just learned a whole bunch, but we'll just jump over that. So let's talk about the baby daddy. So the baby daddy, you don't like him.
I've never met the dude.
Have you met him?
I've never met the dude. I like the kid's pretty cool. He's awesome. He's fun to play with. I play Legos with him a lot.
This is your first time dating a woman with a child.
No.
You've done this before.
Yeah.
And you don't have any rules about meeting. I mean, obviously you are serious and you like her.
Yeah.
And you think there might be a future if you're bringing the kid to a thing.
We didn't bring the kid.
Oh, good. Okay, it's great trained.
I would have mentioned the kid in that earlier intro there.
Have you met the kid?
Yeah. Oh, she's got him. Most of the week. Every week they switch. They do a whole switch off thing.
Just one or two?
Just one.
Okay. How old?
3. Gonna be 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Soon.
So I mean, really, not much.
I can't stand what the
yeah.
kid wants to watch half the time.
Yeah. What is it? It's like. Ranger Danger.
No, they don't even want to watch any of the cool stuff that
they don't
I
want
like
to watch
watching.
Paw Patrol?
He watches that. He watches, and it has to be something that's like CGI. It's not like he doesn't want to watch regular cartoons. I tried to get him on Inspector Gadget, and he's like,
are you like, why you always want to watch Dora?
He wants to watch Dora, and I'm like, why don't we watch Inspector Gadget or something? Or I tried to put on some old Transformers, and he wasn't down for that.
No,
but
kids don't like the old cartoons. The ones that we grew up with, the Looney Tunes, the Super Friends.
Yeah.
I grew up on the Hanna-Barbera type
Oh, the whole
stuff.
catalog,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Flintstones and Johnny Bravos
Oh,
and
don't get
the
me started
Cartoon
on
Networks.
Flintstones. Yeah.
He's not into it yet.
Okay. So anyway, the kid's gonna be cool, I'm sure. He's 3 years old. You really can't. Blah blah blah. But you, the girl, went to meet with moms. Everything was cool. You guys, you ate all the fried foods. What was your first experience?
Dude, what was really weird,
State Fair?
I didn't really get much food. Everything there you have to get tickets for, and the first thing we want to do is make sure we find the cheapest beer.
Right.
And so about every 2 tickets cost $1. So the first thing we did was find a little bar in there, charged 14 tickets, $7 for Miller Lite.
Right.
Terrible. So we kept walking around. The goal was to try to find the cheapest beer. The next thing we did was find 10 tickets. So that's $5 beer for Miller Lite. Next thing, we walked 2 booths down, and there was 8 ticket beer. Eventually, we found one that was doing 7 tickets, $3.50 for a beer. That's not bad, especially at a fair. And there were 16-ounce drafts, by the way, too.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that was good too. But it was weird.
Plastic cups.
They were paper cups.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were good. But that was pretty much my whole thing. We'd walk to
Were
all the different.
straws readily available?
Oh, geez, I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
But we walked around to all the different craft fair things where they have merchants and shopping.
Just by the way, I'm sorry to just
Infomercialville.
couple places lately that I've been frequenting. Any place that like Juiceland for instance, they've got.
Juiceland?
Is it this one?
I don't think so.
No. Is it me?
Sorry, this is great radio.
Oh, it's you. We
Is it
gotta
me?
keep you down.
Oh.
So look, Juiceland, right by their straws, they have like some turtle statues.
Oh my God.
Right, and at this other place, I went to this Vietnamese restaurant the other day, and right by their straws, they had a little stuffed turtle. So I feel like this is
That's manipulation of its in its
but that is
finest.
brilliant. It's not like, hey, we don't have your straws. It's we got them. You want to be an asshole? Go ahead and help yourself to these straws. They're gonna end up in a turtle's nose, and you're gonna watch it on YouTube. Some guy pulling it out with tweezers, and it is. You've seen the video,
Of course,
If
the
you
one
haven't-
turtle that had happened to, and we banned all the straws. I mean, it's
all
crazy.
the straws.
Yeah, all of them.
The one turtle
Hey,
it happened to.
and then your buddy that died of the vaping disease, and then everybody wants to ban the vapes.
Yeah, and they're trying to say all the vapes when it's really just the marijuana vapes that are doing that with the vitamin E in there. I know Brandon likes to use those on
I don't know what
occasion.
you're talking about.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's the key
Yeah.
word there, guys.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But basically, when at the fair, I went around to all the infomercialville. You know, it's all those. Check out. Yeah, allegedly, that's the important thing. I got this cool chip thing where you get a bag and you bag of chips and you can. It's boring, but it's the things you can find in infomercials. Everyone's there trying to peddle their wares. Lots of mattresses there. I didn't know people actually go to a fair to buy a mattress or a hot tub, but it happens. They're in every single tent.
Like they were advertising that, or like you could try out a mattress.
You lay down. They have the new purple mattress. Lay down it, and it looks dirty as heck. It's like a white. They use the white quilted fitted sheet, and
So
it's
many,
dirty.
like,
Everyone's
white,
laying on it.
Dirty LA Gear shoes,
Oh,
high top
gross.
shoes, like rubbing on that thing. Yeah, and I've heard that these purple mattresses, when you get them delivered, they stink. They have like a chemical smell
Like
to
a
them.
remical chemical smell, maybe.
And then you have to like air them out for days before you can lay on them.
That's funny you say that, Jimmy, because I used to sell Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and that was a known thing that it's like, hey, you tell them, of course, after you sold it to them, be like, hey, it might have a little bit of a funky smell,
But you'll get
for
over
for
it.
another couple days, but it'll be fine once you kind of break it in and get some air into the pores.
Okay,
but don't worry about it.
You're like, after it's been purchased,
Of course.
2 days before delivery date, that's when you call them. You're like, hey, just by the way, it's going to be showing up on Friday. We are closed on Saturday and Sunday. Just to let you know, you need to like let it air out. You will not be able to sleep in the bed. Hope you've got some air mattresses or a couple couches.
You know what? Better yet, just go to the hotel right next door.
Because you don't even want to be in the house. It stinks so bad.
But after that, the next 10 years is going to be great sleep.
Hey,
great sleep.
Those are good mattresses. I love those.
Brendo, have you ever heard the if you just painted a room, you put a half an onion in the room and it'll absorb the smell? Have you ever heard that?
I've never heard that.
Okay, well, I did.
Half of an onion.
Yeah, if you just like painted a house,
sure,
you leave a couple cuts of onion.
Does it absorb it or just mask it?
It absorbs.
He's got a good point.
It absorbs the smell.
Interesting.
So I don't know if anybody out there paints. Who gives a shit about what you do?
Watch the language. No cussing, my man.
So yeah, and the reason we don't cuss is because we'd like to one day be on terrestrial radio. We'd like to do a 4-hour show. I want everybody to understand that we are prepared to do that. We do an hour and a half show pretty much nonstop. We've got a couple little breaks here and there, but this is unadulterated radio coming to you in your face, and it's true and live. He's right, I'm left, but he's wrong and I am right. So let's get to the meat of the story. Is it time for the news?
I don't think we're gonna do the news. It'll be going into the Mystic.
Go into the Mystic. This is new.
Anyways, getting to the meat of the topics, the meat of the show today, money in politics, you guys. We're gonna talk about Citizens United. What do you know about it? The number's down on the screen there. Give us a call anytime. We will answer your phone call. There's no screening. So feel free to give us a prank call or talk with something with some substance here. So, money in politics. Is this an issue of quid pro quo or freedom of speech? Or more specifically, is money a type of speech? That's the question I want to pose to you guys today. I'm led to believe that this is a First Amendment issue, but you might disagree. You might agree that the government shouldn't have the power to ban books or movies. Right, Jimmy?
Right.
Right. What about telling you what you can do with your money? This is what this is an issue of corporate personhood, and this is what we're going to be talking about. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, what is Citizens United?
I got you so fired up, but why did you get
I'm
so
not
fired
up?
I mean, like weeks and weeks ago,
because you're
I was
wrong
talking,
about everything
I
we
was
talk
talking,
about,
no,
and I
was
want to
talking
show you
about
how wrong you are.
Citizens United is one of the. Okay, if
Go
I was
ahead.
if I was to talk about what some of the worst things that our government has done are, I would start like one of the first ones in my lifetime, and it's because I am attached to media and I've studied it and I've always wanted to be in broadcasting, would be the Communications Act of 1996, and I blame Bill Clinton for this one. And it was basically the deregulation of the communication industry. It got rid of home rule. It made it so that, you know, because it used to be where if you owned a radio station, you couldn't own a newspaper. If you owned a TV station, you couldn't own a radio station, or you couldn't own more than two in a network. And then so the deregulation of that has caused the destruction of mom and pop owned broadcasting houses or newspapers. And so we have slowly since 1996 seen, like I've said multiple times, we've seen conglomerates be built. And now if you look at it, like all the media is owned by 5 or 6 companies. And so we've got 5 or 6 voices that are disseminating information to us, okay? And that is a big problem. And then since then, we've got these campaign finance has gotten out of control.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
For our political we've only got two major parties, and we've been arguing like we need more parties. We need more parties. Well, it's not going to happen as long as these two major parties have so much control of the advertising stratosphere, right? Okay.
Well,
so
is it that they have control, or is that nobody is trying to step up to try to make other parties happen? Because if people ran with the parties and they were to make enough money in those parties, we would have more parties going on. We'd have super parties. We'd have raves going on. But no, we're stuck with a stupid two-party system, which I'm totally against. I'd like to have some sort of independent running. That's why I like the Libertarian card most of the time. We should have somebody else running. But the point is, what happened with Ross Perot? Ross Perot ran under a ticket, and what happened is that Bill Clinton ended up winning the Electoral College and losing the popular. Didn't even win the popular vote. So it's going to will actually make the Electoral College more. You won't have people going, oh, wait, he won the popular vote, and not have the Electoral College be a problem.
But you're going to immediately jump to Perot. I mean, that's like,
he was a third party that
okay, so you got to understand, like, if we were to talk about the NFL, if you were like, you know what, the Cowboys of the early '90s, they were one of the greatest teams. Well, okay, but we've got to dissect why they were great. The reason why they were great is because that was before free agency. Okay, free agency changed the game. And so basically back then you drafted a player and you had like legalized slavery so that these people were stuck with the team as long as they continued to pay you and then so there wasn't free agency. Like it was difficult for you to jump from team to team. So that's why the Cowboys were able to win. Now, any team that had a dynasty after free agency, they figured out the system. So why am I bringing up the NFL? Because the reason I'm saying that is because now we've got a system where there is dark money that is just floating out there, and people can start their own PACs, and they can just do advertising campaigns out there against a certain candidate or for a certain candidate, and it goes unchecked. And it has gotten worse.
What do you mean it goes unchecked?
It's not reported.
Reported like how?
Like
it's not illegal to.
It's this organization
run a video?
Paid for this ad,
Okay.
but it's not who paid that organization for the money to run that ad.
Why is that important?
I want to know the individual. I want to know the organization, because we're now talking about organizations because they are people too, thanks to Citizens United. And I want to know who the shareholders are of that company, and the shareholders probably want to know if their company that they've been buying stocks in are contributing to so-and-so's campaign. And that's what I'm saying. Dark money. It's all hush-hush. There's millions, billions of dollars.
Can you not see what the problem is with that? If you were to disclose, let's say someone wanted to make, like a corporation wanted to make a Trump ad or something, and his opponents would go, oh, the stockholders for that company that did that are these people, just like Joaquin Castro's brother did.
Right.
These are all the Trump voters here. And you know how people react to Trump voters these days. They start with beating them up or go into their business or causing them not to have business, or throwing rocks at the windows. Like there is a need for privacy in some of these aspects. Don't you think that that's a problem if everything was disclosed in that fashion? At least you know that it's not a left-leaning source giving a Trump ad.
Okay, so let's say David Duke.
No, let's not say David Duke.
Let's say David Duke.
Nobody supports David Duke, so stop.
Well, somebody probably did.
Nobody does.
So David Duke
Nope.
we're not going to go with that?
No.
Okay, let's say Donald Trump is running for president, and he's a racist.
No,
so,
he's not.
Somebody.
Stop, full stop. Hey, no, he's not.
Okay.
Stop.
Allegedly
No.
is a racist. Okay. So somebody, some church, I don't think churches can contribute to political campaigns. But let's say some organization, the Westboro Baptist Church, they've got an organization called Send Kids to Camp.
To keep them from being gay.
To keep them from being gay. Yeah, that's the
and
name of
going
their
to
camp.
hell.
And that camp has some money. It's a nonprofit, and it donates to Trump $250,000. And
No, hold up. Donates to Trump. You can't just donate to Trump. There is corporations can't just directly give money to a candidate. This is where I wanted to go and figure this out with Citizens United.
Teach me. What's going on?
Well, first of all, let's talk about Citizens United a little bit first, okay? The Supreme Court was faced with a decision about a group called Citizens United. This group had made a film called Hillary the Movie. It was really critical of good old Hill Dog.
Right.
The Federal Election Commission said that the film that was scheduled to be released right before the Democratic primaries was quote-unquote political speech, and the cost exceeded the amount allowed by the Bipartisan Campaign Act of 2002, also known as the McCain-Feingold Act. We won't get into that act. You guys can go and look it up.
Because it's got McCain in it, and you guys hate McCain.
I don't know if it's that McCain.
Because you only like heroes that weren't shot down. Is that what it is?
No, I don't know who you're talking about, and it might not even be that McCain, so just take it easy.
It is that McCain.
5 judges ruled previous decisions that said free speech was absolutely necessary in a democracy, even when it comes to a corporation. They also ruled that it would be okay to require that donations could be prohibited from going straight to the candidate. The end result was basically that money is a type of speech, and the First Amendment guaranteed speech must not be limited. So the ruling, limiting money equals limiting speech. Though it would still be wrong to donate money directly to the candidate, it was okay to give unlimited amounts to groups that might support or post certain candidates as long as the candidates had no direct relationship or control of these groups. So what you're saying, and that's what I had to look up, because you kept saying, oh no, these corporations, they donate unlimited money to the candidates, and that is just simply not true.
So what you're saying is that what I said was not true.
At least that aspect.
Okay.
I mean, fair enough, right?
It's quite possible.
And that's what you do looking up research. So Supreme Court says that corporations are people and should be able to spend as much money as they want on politics.
Right.
The government's position on that case was that if any corporation had any role in producing or distributing a book or movie, such as the Hillary movie, the government could ban it if it contained even one line of advocacy. There's a lot more in this case in the idea of corporate personhood than you might have heard. And corporations are not people, and nobody thinks they are. The Supreme Court doesn't think they are. But corporations have been recognized as persons for purposes of the law for centuries, and starts in the U.S. since 1819 in the SCOTUS decision, Dartmouth College versus Woodward. So if corporations aren't people, then what are they? They're not office buildings or chairs or desks or telephones. Corporations consist of, in fact, managers, executives, and shareholders. That's what they are. And so by treating corporations like people for legal purposes, mind you, we create many advantages for our society. And imagine if we didn't treat them as a person, how would you sue a corporation? If you wanted to sue Monsanto or Exxon, you'd have to find the millions of different shareholders and sue them all individually. And that doesn't sound like a good way to run a court system. Right?
So look, this is what I'm going to say. What is it that we gain by having a corporation as a person? Also,
it's a good question.
Let's see. Like we just recently had a corporation give up billions of dollars. They lost billions of dollars in this. What's the opiate case, right?
Yeah. And Monsanto
Why
too.
can we not charge a corporation with murder?
You can charge.
If a corporation gets the same rights as we do, like free speech or political speech with their money, right? And they're run by 10 people on a board, and they have 5,000 employees that are doing their bidding. How come they get political speech, but they can't be I want to put all of that
I
company
get you
to
what you're
death,
saying.
is what I'm saying.
Corporations don't have all the rights of real people. Of course they don't, but they have the rights that we have as people when we assemble, when we join together. Together we can talk. Brandon has the right to speak. You have the right to speak. I have the right to speak. Together, the three of us have the right to speak together, and we have the right to get a whole bunch of people to join us. We don't lose our First Amendment right to speech, assemble, and petition simply because we join together and simply because we might organize ourselves as a corporation in order to handle our administrative and management affairs. Having corporations recognized as people for legal purposes allows corporations to buy and sell property without having to retitle the property every time somebody sells their stock. It enables people to pool their resources to create great new products for us. It allows the creation of an Apple that produces iPhones and MacBooks that we can use. That would probably not happen if we didn't have some sort of mechanism to for people to bring all their property together. So the idea of a corporation as a person, as a legal concept, is very valuable to us. Don't you think?
I don't know. I have a serious problem with this whole corporations as people thing, and I bring this up several times during our shows because it comes to a head when we get to the point where we start talking about healthcare, and then you've got regular old Joes that need a job, and maybe there's only one corporation in town. Like there's the big sock factory. Like if you live in Boaz, Alabama, I don't know if you know about Boaz, Alabama, but Boaz, Alabama was the tube sock capital of the world for a very long time until China started winning all the time. So what I'm saying is, like, if you live in Boaz, Alabama, and all you got is the opportunity to work at the tube sock factory, then they say, hey, by the way, we ain't gonna give you abortion people any abortion money, or I understand you want to have sex like a crazy sex kitten all the time, but we ain't gonna pay for your plan B when your boyfriend Jethro just like runs it all up in you, or hey,
what are
we
you talking
ain't.
about? My God.
I understand you want to be a responsible individual, and also you've got like these terrible periods, and they're painful to you, and it's a health concern, and you want to take a birth control pill so that you don't have to, take 4 days off of work, so you sit in a dark room with a wet cloth on your forehead because your periods are so fucking bad. You gotta cuss. You gotta take your period stopping pill, which is birth control. I don't know how the body works in females, but so we aren't going to pay for that because we are Baptists. We're a Baptist company, and we make tube socks for Baptists by Baptists, and you've got to get pregnant if you don't like it or not, or you want to like it or not. There we go.
What did that have to do with corporations having the rights of real people?
Well, that's what Citizens United it kind of
did they
made it possible
Did
for corporations to say we are a religious institution and we don't participate in your bullshit healthcare.
Well, first of all, and you're cursing again because you're just cursing just to curse, I think now.
I think I'm cursing.
But the idea of what you're talking about is that corporations do have a right to not pay for someone's abortion. Matter of fact, all of us Americans have that same right. That's why you can't use any tax money to pay Planned Parenthood to do abortions. I mean, it's already illegal to do that. So it's not like they're breaking any law saying they're doing that. Also, you can't compel somebody to bake a cake for somebody when it's like you're probably trying to get to the gay cake thing there. The guy comes in trying to wants this cake maker to make a cake for a gay wedding, and he goes, it's against my religion, so I'm not going to do that. So should he be compelled to do that? Should he have to make something that he doesn't want to?
This goes back to my rule. Don't be an asshole. If we could all talk to each other.
But wait a minute. How's that being an asshole if that's against religion and somebody's going around obviously trying to sue somebody over it? You know that guy went to that couple went to several different cake makers and went to one that that they could probably get one for cheap if they sued the guy or something. You know that that happened again. They keep trying to do that. Would you say the same to a black cake maker that a Nazi comes in and wants his Nazi cake made? We got a phone call coming in.
Listen, if you're a black cake maker and a Nazi person comes in to get a cake made,
answer the phone.
I think you just call the cops, you know?
It's not illegal for them to make a Nazi cake. You're on the air. What's your name?
Call the cops. Turn
so,
it down.
Tell us it's his buddy Zach.
Hey.
Oh, what's up, Zach? What's going on, man?
Wait, this is your buddy?
Not much.
Someone from work? You have a comment?
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit behind live feed to the real time here, but
maybe.
I wanted to bring up a point that you brought up about, the right to choose how to spend your money, right?
Sure.
So y'all are discussing primarily here.
Let's talk about it. How do you want to spend your money?
Well, this is more okay. Let's assume Citizens United is what it is, and it's good. Let's just assume that for a moment here. That's fine at all. I did make the joke about, hey, I'd like to go down the carpool lane with my LLC papers because it's a person, but it's not the case, right? They don't have all the same rights.
They don't, right?
But let's say for a moment that you take the stance of, I want to spend my money this way. I want to support this candidate. I have this right. You spoke about anonymity, the fact that there may be backlash.
Sure.
Well, isn't that kind of the right of the people who may or may not support a company based off of where they want to spend their money? It's the same argument, really.
You know what? I can't argue against that. I mean, sure, it's the same thing, but there are pretty transparent laws. I mean, people that do support Trump, even that's why that Julian Castro's brother put out that tweet that showed all the different companies that supported Donald Trump. So there is transparency when it comes to that. And what reason would anybody have to post something like that so that somebody can lose their livelihood? There's only evil.
You're so worried about doxing.
It's a real concern.
But is it? I mean, like,
let's use the classic argument for police. What are you worried about?
What do
you have nothing? If you're doing nothing wrong, what are you worried about?
I'm not worried about anything, but I'm not the person that I believe a large majority of police are fearful of. Okay, I look white enough that they're not scared of me. Okay, so I mean, look, I'll be completely honest. I just drove through Western Texas, and I was tailed for 5-10 miles. Through a small town, and it was going from 75 miles per hour down to 20 miles per hour and then back up to 70 miles per hour, and they were a car length behind us, all right, and they were waiting for us to touch a line, and we didn't get pulled over. We ended up hitting city limits, but I think somebody else might have gotten pulled over. And somebody else might not have been as street smart or savvy as me to give instructions to my buddy that was driving to not look in the rearview mirror, to just keep driving, to just drive exactly the speed limit. And then I was pretending to look at stuff on the left and the right. I was like, oh, look at that billboard over there. But I wasn't looking at that billboard. I was looking in the damn rear view mirror to make sure that this cop wasn't about to light us up.
Were you in your car too?
We were not in our car. We were in somebody else's car that had a different name than the driver and was a female, and it was two bearded dudes driving, and I was deathly afraid we were going to get pulled over, and my buddy would have been honest when he said, where are you coming from? He would have said, we're coming from Denver, where we were. We were in Denver, but then immediately you know what that cop would have thought about. He would have been like,
smells like weed in here. I thought I smelled
like something.
Mm-hmm.
And damn, I'll tell you, we were in Denver for 4 days and we didn't step foot in a dispensary. But damn it, if we wouldn't have still gone to jail for what was in my pocket.
Well, you don't know that.
So,
okay, take it easy.
I drove it from Texas
Allegedly
to Denver
had his
and
pocket.
back. But what I'm saying is, man, there are people that don't have that. Like when we talk about white privilege, I am thankful that my dad is white. Okay, my mom, she grew up southern Brownsville, Texas, and that's as southern as you can get in the continental United States. She went to kindergarten, and she didn't speak English, and they sent her home. And it wasn't from my uncle going back there and saying, you better teach her because she's a freaking American. She was born in America, and she needs the same rights as everybody else, and you teach her. So I'm saying, man, we've been fighting. And
I feel you.
yeah.
My doxing comment wasn't necessarily directed towards either of y'all. It
Sure.
was more
No, it was
under
Brandon.
the premise of the cake that you were talking about, refusing to make a cake for someone.
No, this is all on Brandon. I understand. He's the racist one.
Yeah. There's always got to be one.
No, but look, this is the thing. This Constitution was written for us. This country is for us. The people that are in the Congress and the Senate, they are for us. We vote the president in for us. When do we stand up? And it's going to be too late. It might already be too late. I mean, the only way that we can overturn something like Citizens United, which, and in my research, and I understand, and you're going to probably go to this is backed up on precedent that goes years and years back. Okay, but the fact that there is precedent that says that corporations have the same rights as us, as free speech, and the money is speech.
Right.
That's where I've got a problem.
All it is.
Money being speech is a problem because you do not make $5 billion a year. I do not make $5 billion a year.
Sure.
There are corporations that make tens of millions and billions of dollars a year.
Yeah, like Google, who happens to be left-leaning.
And it's
Amazon, also left-leaning.
And we might think that this is all about the presidential election. I'm not talking about the presidential election. I'm talking about the state elections. I'm talking about the county elections. I'm talking about the election for like in Texas, we got the freaking train commissioner, which basically is in charge of all the oil drilling in this state. But we just think, train commissioner, who cares about the trains? Trains in Paris always run on time. No, man. I'm talking. They named it train commissioner so that you wouldn't think that it was in charge of all the fracking in your backyard, poisoning your water, putting deep well disposal wells in there. That's why you've got freaking earthquakes happening in the middle of Texas. Yeah. And they're like, wow, we've never had earthquakes before. That's crazy. Must be an act of God.
You're right, man. We should definitely go to nuclear. I mean, it's the cleanest form of energy there, and I definitely agree with you on that one, buddy.
Okay.
All right.
I'm with you.
Zach, you have anything else you want to add, brother?
Thanks for calling, Zach.
No, not really.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
So it was that easy. 512-477-2440. Give us a call.
Think about if corporations didn't have these rights. The government, the man, could just seize corporate property and leave the shareholders holding worthless pieces of stock that are of no value whatsoever. They do that without due process and with no just compensation. Due process would go away. That's another thing that we have.
You know about due process.
I love due process, man. They could search office buildings of those corporations because if the corporations didn't have any rights, who would have standing to object when the government came around to do warrantless searches? They wouldn't have anybody. Corporations don't have rights because they're people. They're not. Corporations have rights because we have rights as people. We form corporations to help us do things we want to do in life, whether it's to go into business, hold property together, or even organize a nonprofit like the Sierra Club, the ACLU, or even Citizens United. So when you're saying corporations shouldn't have rights, you're restricting not the rights of some amorphous group or thing no one's ever heard of. You're restricting the rights of real people. And when we think about the position the government took in Citizens United, the government has the right to ban a book or movie simply because a corporation had some role in producing it. I think we should be glad that corporations have rights. Now, you were saying something earlier about some corporations make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so should someone's free speech be able to drown out another person's free speech? Because, let's say I make $5 billion, you make $500 million, but I make more money and my speech is probably louder than yours. If we're going to say money is speech, My speech is louder. So
well, let's say I've got an opinion, you've got an opinion. I'm like, tadpoles suck, and you're like, no, they're great because they raise gay frogs. And so you've got an ad campaign, but I only have.
I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch.
Don't you even start with me. So like I got $100,000 for ad campaigns. I'm only able to play it in 1 or 2 counties, and then so that's the thing, right? So, but you've got millions of dollars, so you can play it statewide. I'm only able to play it in Austin and maybe Bastrop.
I can
right?
see an issue with that.
And then like the Bastrop people are like, why are you even wasting your advertising dollars on us? Because we are like totally into
Every year we hear ads about what the corporations are telling us. Corporations telling us who to vote for. Of course, the ones with more money can run more ads, but is this really a problem? We are a democracy. These ads are simply that, ads. They aren't a gun to your head. They have a right to speak. You're not a sheep. This isn't a monarchy, and you have the right to not listen and make up your own mind. Why is it that people think because it's on TV or Facebook that it's fact and should be treated as gospel?
Well, and so this is what we were talking about earlier. We've got a major problem with disinformation.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we?
And so like one of the examples that I was thinking about earlier today was like how respectful the Bernie Sanders heart attack coverage has been.
Everybody's been
like everybody's been like,
thoughts and prayers.
oh, you know.
We want him to lose. We don't want him to lose this way.
The old man, you know, he's in the hospital, and his wife is taking care of him. He's gonna hit the campaign trail. That's great. Let's give him some time to just blah blah blah. But then you remember during the Trump-Clinton election, she had like a fainting spell or something, and it was like. They're trying to hide.
Yeah, but
she has Ebola, and there's no way that they're going to be able to keep this secret from us.
Yeah, but she didn't say anything was wrong.
But this is the thing.
It's a whole different thing. If she said, "Hey, I'm dying of something," they'd be like, "Oh,
information.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about that."
The disinformation that went out there, right? And like I keep telling you, man, I'm on all sides of the spectrum on my social media, right? So I've got friends that are left, I got friends that are right, and I don't unfriend anybody. I welcome all the idiots, one side or the other.
Yeah,
so
I feel you.
They're my friends on Facebook. Yeah. So.
Anyways, why do they think it's fact and should be treated as gospel when they see something on TV or Facebook?
Yeah, because they just see it over. It's confirmation bias. They already think something, and then they see something that's like, hey, remember
what about me,
Hillary is a blah blah blah. Well, you are.
What about me? When you said something about Citizens United, I did my proper due diligence and research, and I'm showing you how you're even agreeing with some of these things. We were talking about. I don't think that's the case at all when it comes to people seeing something on TV and Facebook. I don't think that they treat it as gospel because I don't think everyone is sheep. You see, that's a problem. I think you think that people are dumb in general.
I don't think they're sheep. I think
that's
that
what you're sort of implying.
I think that we've got a serious problem with an uneducated electorate, like on a whole. What?
So you're basically saying the people that didn't vote for your side is uneducated. See, that's basically what you're getting at there.
Look, I'm saying that there was people that voted for Hillary that were uneducated. Like if they were smart, they would have voted for Bernie, right? Because he was more in line with
socialism, which you hate,
with their beliefs and what they want. But they.
I just want to make this clear.
I mean, because. This was a bought and sold election for Hillary due to the fact that, you know, and this is the swamp that, you know, I totally get that you guys want to drain. It was the Democrats made a deal with Hillary, and they were like, "Look, just lay down, let Obama win. Nobody's ready for a woman right now. Everybody's excited about a black man as a president, and so we got Obama, who was a great president. And then we had the 8 years of 6 years of obstructionist Republicans, where all they did was vote for overturning the Affordable Care Act, and they were just the anti-Obamacare Congress and Senate, and then so nothing else got done, and then he passed a couple executive orders, and then that was the reason why the president that we have now is in office, because he was like, he did executive orders. How dare that guy do that? How dare he? And then how many executive orders have we had under this orange man in chief?
None.
None. Not one executive order.
Dude, he's got tons of them.
Okay.
Tons of them,
right.
And things that you probably don't even know, because you just want to see the bad in him. You don't want to look at the good. Remember, dude, I wasn't into the dude. I was not into him.
But now you're into him just because people hate him.
No, it's not that at all. When you look at the other side and what they represent, what they're doing, what they're saying, how can I support something like that? How can you support something like that? I don't judge you for it.
Portion of your country and your fellow citizens that are hurt by this presidency and
why don't you pull up this article and just read what that says right now? This was just passed a few days ago. Did you hear about this?
What is this?
Read it out loud there.
I don't know if I can see it.
Make it big there.
Boom, boom, boom.
This is something that was just signed into law from Trump.
Oh, boom, boom, boom.
There it is.
Boom. There it is. Did Donald Trump sign a $1.8 billion autism? You're going to get me to love him because he signed a autism services bill?
The thing is, you're saying he doesn't sign anything.
This is a self-servicing bill.
Okay.
Am I right?
Okay.
Am I right?
I was saying when
he's like, you know what?
When I learned this,
we need autism research because I don't know what the hell's going on with my sons.
Try not to talk over. The thing is, anyone would sign this. But you would think that, oh well, he's got to sign it. Don't you think that if he really had this hate in his heart, like you say, he's got hate in his heart, he wouldn't sign something like that?
Yeah, great. Well, where's the gun reform? Where's the
what gun reform do you think is going to stop evil people from doing evil things? We keep going over this week after week. Do you think that because your way is the right way
on how to house?
I'm talking.
Where's the reform on how to house the people that we've got? In these.
What about his prison reform bill that he passed? The one step.
Camera.
Yeah, I like it.
He's doing great things. He says what he's doing. He's building wall. He's lowering taxes. He's deregulating. He's basically saying everything that he campaigned on, and somehow he's immoral, whatever. You know what? Yeah. If you don't like him, like I said last week, I don't care what.
So he did one good thing.
Not one good thing. See, you have only seen one good thing because you refuse to do actual research.
Did he do it this week?
It happened this week.
Okay. Good job, Trump.
Now, there you go. Nice. The problem here, man, is that you are not seeing.
What else did he do this week?
What have you done for me lately?
He called for China.
What have you done for me?
He called for China to once again. He was like, China.
Call for them. It's the way that you see things.
China should investigate this whole Biden thing. I mean, listen. Yes.
So
we
don't look into corruption.
We all agree.
So don't look into corruption. Is what you're saying.
You want to look for some common ground? Here it is. I think Joe Biden should jump out of the race.
No, we should look into corruption
when it
happens.
I think Joe Biden should jump out of the race just because it's so murky, and we're so sorry that his son got a job that he was unqualified for, and he sat on a board. Has anybody raised your hand if you've ever sat on a board of a nonprofit? Have you ever done it? I've done it. I've sat on the board of a nonprofit. A couple.
That energy company is not a nonprofit, by the way.
What I'm telling you, well, a board of any company or a nonprofit. I sat on a board of a nonprofit.
Quick stop.
Nothing happens.
Quick stop.
You do nothing. You do
Jimmy,
nothing.
Let me get a word in here.
Go ahead.
What you're talking about is the aspect that you're not even hearing about. The aspect that Trump is talking about is the corruption of a prosecutor looking into that company and Joe Biden going there and withholding foreign aid until they till they fire that prosecutor that's looking into said company that his son's on the board of making $50,000 a month. That's corruption that he wants to look into. Not because, oh, we need to look into why Hunter Biden got this job. It's about corruption.
Look, I agree with you.
Okay.
You win on this. He needs to go. Okay? He needs to go.
No, we need to look into the corruption.
Elizabeth Warren is going to be
warden.
our
we
warden,
will. She will feel like a warden if she becomes president. Let's see.
And then you know what? I'll take her as president and Bernie as vice president because it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't want anybody to die, but like if he was to have a heart attack, it'd be cool if we just had like Buttigieg jump in. You know, like oh he can't serve as vice president. He had a severe heart attack. He's got to step away as vice president. Then we get Buttigieg. It'd be a Warren Buttigieg. Double whammy. We got the chick that is like she's the only statesman that I see out of all the people that are running for president right now. Like she's for us, man. She's for you and she's for me. Even though she knows that you aren't for her.
They all sound like they're about to cry when they talk. I want to give everybody that crossed the border illegally.
Are you making fun of women?
No.
Are you making fun of
all
women?
All of them sound like that. They all sound. Why do you gotta bring it like that?
Buttigieg
First of all,
sound like he's gonna cry?
I can't make a point where they sound like they're about to cry every time they talk, and you're like it's a woman issue. That is a low blow, and it comes out of nowhere because I love women. First of all, I love strong women.
Do
first
you
of all.
love strong women?
Yeah. Are you dating a woman that has a child and is a strong, independent woman?
Let me tell you what.
No. Shut your.
Okay. On Friday,
GD mouth.
I made out, and I touched the butt of a woman that has two.
Did you get consent?
She's yes, absolutely.
No, you didn't. Let me see the paperwork.
She's a strong woman. You know, I want to text her.
So you telling me that I say I make an observation that they sound like they're crying or about to cry when they start talking about things to make it sound like they're more passionate about their issue. I want to give all legal immigrants. Raise your hand if you want illegal immigrants to have free health care.
Hey,
every single one of them raise their hand.
If you think that every time a woman talks, she sounds like she's crying.
No, the candidates talk. Oh my God!
Look,
stop. Hold up a second, Jimmy.
No.
I'm not going to let you railroad me and talk over me when it says. First of all, you're breaking every single rule that we're trying to come up with. You've cursed like 5 times today. I haven't cursed once, and you keep talking over me. We got 3 more minutes before we go to a break here.
I was saying Jimmy's cursed 3 times.
3 times.
Okay.
Times 3.
Thanks a lot.
So the vast majority of people, what they want is more jobs, clean air, cheaper health care. What the people want will take a backseat as long as corporations spend millions getting lawmakers elected. Well, this is simply incorrect. The vast majority didn't have guns to their head. They are free to vote for what they want, but they still vote for crony capitalists. You think that when somebody votes for Hillary Clinton that, oh, democracy is saved, we have a woman in president. She was ready to go to war the second that she got in. She
Who's
said
she going
so.
to war with?
Syria, she was talking about, and Iran or whatever.
Yeah,
she wanted to go.
But meanwhile, our president, Orange Julius in Chief,
has been taking us out of wars.
Dropped out and left our Kurdish allies to die in Syria today.
You're acting nutty.
As he's done a complete pullout, leaving our.
Jimmy,
if you look at the Republican, I mean, even McConnell said that it was a bad idea. It's a bad idea. We should not have abandoned the Kurds in Syria. Now, granted, I have no idea what's going on over there.
Yeah, so just shut your mouth. Yeah. All right, so I want to talk about oil companies that have gotten those politicians to block laws, because that's the problem we're seeing here. For instance, very high drug prices. This is a deliberate act passed from our Congress. It prohibited Medicare and the federal government from using its vast purchasing power to negotiate lower prices directly from the drug companies. Huge problem. Very bad problem. The goal here was to make sure there was no interference in the drug companies' ability to charge high prices and continue to raise those prices. You hear that? Federal law prohibits Medicare from negotiating cheaper prices with drug companies. How do you think Big Pharma managed to pull that off?
Because they said that we would not participate. They said we will not participate in the American Care Act, the Affordable Care Act, if we can't keep Medicare away from negotiating.
Wrong. Congressmen are outnumbered 2-1 by lobbyists. They wrote the damn bill. Right. Thanks a lot, Citizens United. So just like that, special interests were able to buy public policy that hamstrings the competitive market and hurts regular Americans. Thanks a lot, Citizens United.
So it's Citizens United's fault that happened.
Except this happened in 2003, long before Citizens United. This guy's name, and I want you guys should know about this D-bag here. His name was Billy Townsend. Believe it or not, he was a conservative Democrat from Louisiana. Billy Townsend was the chair of the U.S. House Committee on Energy and Commerce, which oversees the drug industry. Townsend had played a key role in the shepherding through Congress the Medicare prescription drug bill. Democrats said that the bill was a giveaway to drug makers because it prohibited the government from negotiating lower drug prices and bans the importation of identical, cheaper drugs from Canada and elsewhere. And the bill was passed in an unusual congressional session at 3 a.m. under heavy pressure from drug companies.
Yeah.
2 months before this guy would eventually resign from the committee.
When did the Affordable Care Act get passed?
Well, this is 2003. This
Right.
is
And
long
when
before we
did-
had Obama.
When was Obama?
Obama was 2008.
2008.
Yeah, so
Okay,
this is
this was during Bush.
This was during Bush, okay? No one likes Bush.
Republican Congress.
Yeah, but a conservative Democrat there, so he helped write the bill. So everyone's crony here. 2 months before he'd eventually resign from the committee, he began work as the head of the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America, or PhRMA, a powerful trade group for pharmaceutical companies.
That's what happens. That's what happens. man.
Townsend was hired at a salary outsiders estimated at $2 million a year. 5 years later, he announced his retirement from the association, and that's 2010. So the problem isn't Citizens United. Citizens United is basically a media company. They make movies. They don't have any extra votes. They are basically a conservative Michael Moore with more money. So overturning Citizens United, or Citizens United versus FEC won't stop money from politics. It's been going on forever. It's the politicians like Billy Townsend who became the head of a lobby of which he helped pass a bill for. It's problems like insider trading that made politicians millions. Nancy Pelosi is a big part of it. It was supposed to be blocked by the Stock Act passed by Obama. So I have a video here. It's a short video that describes what is really driving politics, and we should all be against this.
Who's this from?
I don't know. It's
You don't know.
It's something about insider trading, which we all should be against.
Nobody cares about insider trading.
So we do. You should. That's how politicians make their millions of dollars. Why do you think politicians like Nancy Pelosi have millions of dollars for being a public servant? Here, we'll turn it up. Are you ready?
Is that the salary is sort of the floor of what they can make.
A very profitable income-earning opportunity for members of Congress is through initial public offerings, or IPOs. Companies might offer legislators a chance to buy stock when it is first made available, a time when its price per share is potentially set to skyrocket. 14-term California Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi got special access to purchase Visa stock on March 18, 2008, the day before it was made available to the public.
Visa took Wall Street by storm today with the largest initial public offering in history.
It was
okay,
so
is that not a problem? Do you not see that that's a problem?
Wait. I will tell you this. I have had opportunities to buy into a stock that is about to go public. And it's from my broker who is working for a investment firm that is bringing that investment offering to the public. So
that's illegal, isn't it?
No, it is not. You can get in on the initial offering if you are with the right people. So
if you're with the right people, what does that mean?
So insider trading is when, if I know, this is, you ever seen what is it? Perfect Strangers?
Yeah, Balky and
no. With
I used to love that show.
Eddie Murphy and
Switching Places.
Trading Places. So with Bill Aykroyd and Dan.
Bill Aykroyd and Bill Murphy.
Right. So that was an example of insider trading. They knew what the orange report was going to be. The citrus report from Florida was going to be good. And so they were going to buy and they were going to make lots of money, right? But the actual report was bad, and so they lost money, right? So in that circumstance, the people that were doing the insider trading, they lost their asses, right?
Let's keep playing this video here.
That is not insider trading. You can do that.
One of 3 trades on Visa she made that year, totaling between $1 and $5 million.
Sounds shady, though.
Visa's stock price jumped 50% in just 2 days. The timing of that IPO access coincided with House legislation that Visa strongly opposed. Pelosi, the speaker at the time, never allowed the legislation to the floor for a vote.
You know, if I came into
stop for a second.
Okay, so now
do you not see the problem there?
Sounds like corruption.
Okay, great. So let's keep playing that.
Okay.
And you're a senator, and I gave you a shoebox with $10,000 cash and wanted a favor in return, if we got caught, we're both going to jail.
That's right.
If I come into your office as a senator and I want a favor, and instead I give you access to pre-initial public offering stock that's going to make you $100,000 in a day, that's completely legal. And that's what makes the IPO approach so brilliant and so troubling.
And no congressman has ever been prosecuted for insider trading, even though they have extraordinary access to valuable information. This was the case on September 16, 2008. Congressional leaders met with Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson and Fed Chair Ben Bernanke, and for the first time learned how bad the financial crisis could be. In his book, Peter Schweitzer reported that the next day, at least 10 senators made trades on financial stocks and funds, while the public was still largely in the dark. Congresswoman Shelley Capito, who sits on the House Financial Services Committee, dumped more than $100,000 of Citigroup stock. Congressman Jim Moran sold stock in more than 90 different companies, his busiest trading day of the year. All those trades were made just 12 days before the biggest single-day crash in market history, and 1 week before Moran took to the House floor to say this.
Mr. Speaker, greed is the accelerator that drives a capitalist economy. But unless you're willing to tap on the regulatory brakes once in a while, you're going to crash.
After Schweitzer's book, Throw Them All Out, brought Congress's use of that private information into the spotlight, a 60-minute story apparently forced lawmakers to pass the Stock Act in 2012.
Hold up. This is important.
With great fanfare, they agreed to stop trading on insider knowledge and even set up a database to publicly disclose all of their trades.
There you go.
But
however, they found ways around.
1 year later, representatives quietly rolled back many of those disclosure requirements.
Okay, so look,
special access to initial public.
So look, yes, they should all disclose all that. I mean, our president didn't. He was supposed to get rid of all of his holdings. He didn't. He was supposed to disclose his tax returns and who he's been paid by, and where all his financial holdings are. He didn't. So
well, no, as the president, he's done that, but he hasn't done that.
All of these guys are robbing us. They're all robbing us.
Yeah, they are. It's terrible. I'm not a big fan of it myself, but you see it happens.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Both sides. Yeah.
But
also,
we gotta go to break here, guys. What do we have on our break?
Real quick, play me the. Listen, it has got to be terrible to have to deal with our president, like as a world leader. And do you have that one ready for us? Okay. This is just a little compilation of our weekend presidential politics. Okay.
We'll be back.
Wait, no, and then we'll be back.
Thank you, everybody. In our country, because the laws are so ridiculous, so stupid, we have to give them a trial. So we send them into the country, then they're supposed to come back, but they never come back. Very rarely do they come back. I don't know if you have this, Mr. President, but we have people that are totally out of control. It's the only way they think they can win the election, so we'll see what happens. But at some point, the Mueller report spoke. And she said she was totally inebriated, and she was all messed up, and she doesn't know it was him, but it might have been him. Oh, gee, let's not make him a Supreme Court judge because of that. I think Andrew McCabe has made a fool out of himself. I'm very proud to say we caught him So we'll see what happens, but he is a disgraced man. This man is a complete disaster. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad.
Obamacare is virtually dead. At best, you could say it's in its final legs. And if the Supreme Court rules that Obamacare is out, we will have a plan that's far better than Obamacare. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I think that's disgraceful. Plus, there are other things. I was never a fan of John McCain, and I never will be. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
All right, so
it's easy to take clips like that out of context.
Oh yeah,
and then,
yeah.
You know,
I'm
come on.
sure he's not.
I think it was still funny.
So we're gonna take a quick break. I'll pause that for a sec. We've got two videos from my buddy Wild Bill and the Lost Knobs getting in shape and fighting for the title. I think I don't know. Check them out. Wild Bill and the Lost Knobs are one of my favorites. We're gonna take a quick break. Let's go take a quick break.
All right, we'll take a quick break, you guys.
Okay, quick break.
The greatest feeling you can get in a gym, or the most satisfying feeling you can get in a gym, is the pump. Is the pump. Is the pump.
You're like a Kentucky Fried Idiot. Stay in school and use your brain. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, carry a leather briefcase. Forget about sports as a profession.
Getting in shape, we're getting in shape. Watch out, mama, cause we're getting in shape. And now we're staying up late, we're playing it straight. Step back, suckers, cause we're getting in shape. And now we're getting in shape. We're getting in shape, yeah. Been getting in shape and I feel great. I feel like a shooting star. Been getting in shape and I feel great. I feel like a shooting star.
Just watch out for the guys. They'll get you.
Now take a lap around the yard and one in the pool. Grab the wheelbarrow, we got work to do. I'ma step in the ring, I'm doing my thing. I'm the White Hornet, now I'm ready to be Sting. Getting in shape, we're getting in shape. Getting in shape, yeah. Been getting in shape and I feel great. I feel like a shooting star. Been getting in shape and I feel great. I feel like a shooting star.
You know, there's a time we take a guy like you out back and beat you with the hose. Now you got your goddamn unions.
And now we're breaking the rules. We're playing it cool. Got a horseshoe in my glove and I'm knocking out fools. I eat chumps for breakfast and lunch. It goes left, right, left, right, left, right. Sucker punch. Now we're getting in shape. We're getting in shape. Getting in shape, yeah. Been getting in shape and I feel great. I feel like a shooting star. Been getting in shape and I feel great. I feel like a shooting star. My whole life is a circus. Seems I'm always hanging from the Ferris wheel. Sleeping in the lion's cage like it's no big deal. Well, if you wanna know why I still do it, it's the only life I know. The only place I ever go is to the show. 5 shows in a week, hey, 2 of them paid. Last night somebody broke my last pair of shades. And when the lights hit my eyes, it ain't no surprise, girl, I'm hurting. And I do believe it's time for me to blaze. to the show. Hurry up and wait, that's the name of the game. Sometimes you wait till you forget just why you came. And at the end of the night, you hope there's no fight over money. You're happy when you can sleep without the shame. Sometimes I feel the roar of the crowd. Sometimes I feel alone. Sometimes I feel like I wanna give up, but most of the time it feels like home. My whole life is a circus. Seems I'm always hanging from the Ferris wheel, sleeping in the lion's cage like it's no big deal. Well, if you wanna know why I still do it, it's the only life I know. The only place I ever go is to the show. The only place I ever go. The only place I ever go. The only place I ever go is to the show.
Wild Bill and the Lost Knobs. Check them out, man. They're one of my favorite bands in town. Wild Bill's awesome. I'm in the
what
thing? I'm in his play, his Christmas thing. I don't know why the name of it. It's the Christmas thing.
I wanted to read. I wanted to read us
for 2-3 years.
If you guys like our content, check us out on iTunes. Share it with your friends. Leave a message here or leave a rating. I wanted to read a rating we got. Let's see, May 13th, which I guess we missed out here.
Yeah, we missed this.
It's 1 star by Speckled Egg 23.
Okay.
And it says emergency exit failure. These two guys have overinflated egos who talk over each other about a bunch of useless topics. Carlos in particular seems pretty proud of his racism and homophobia. The content is boring and Carlos loves to use profanity to make a point. Only because I'm required to give it a rating, I give it 1 star. Don't waste your time. They just jabber and jabber.
Jabber and jabber.
1 star. That was our first 1 star. I thought it was pretty funny. It said right, I am required, because I'm required to give it a rating. I mean, you could just, not give a rating, but it definitely wanted to point out my racism and homophobia. I'm very proud of it.
I work at a auto shop, and
you do?
I'm beholden to ratings. So like we get Yelp reviews. If somebody called one day and they were like, "Hey, do you guys do a certain service?" They asked if we did state inspections, and I said, "Actually, no, we do not do state inspections, but go here or go there." And we recommend 2 places. It's the lube pit stop or the Jiffy Lube over off of Brody and Alexandria. Those are the 2 places if we were to recommend a place as a shop, that's where I'd send it. So anyway, I said, "No, we don't do it, but go here." And then her review was, they don't do state inspections, but that Jimmy was kind of funny and was somewhat helpful in his recommendations and gave us 4 stars, 4 out of 5.
Oh, couldn't throw the 1 extra star in there?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on.
That's a little passive.
Come on, lady. I mean, you're and we don't even do that service. It's like, hey, do you guys put up drapes? Actually, no, we're an auto shop.
3 star, but you guys were helpful. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's watch some funny videos here. I've got this one. Do you have number 3? You already hovered over it, I think, Mr. Guy.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
check this out.
All right, what do we got?
Public Freakout Reddit is, you just need to subscribe or join to this one.
Oh. Is it a spit off?
Dude, it's a spit off. It's a spit fight.
Why are they spitting? What's with the hands all folded? It's like
he got one in the mouth.
Oh. He's hawking.
Yeah.
Hawking up some
It's cold
lubes.
outside, you know. You probably got some.
Okay. How does stand your ground law work on this? Oh.
So I'm sure you get the death penalty if you raise your hand to somebody. So they're like, dude, we got other ways around this.
Where is this?
I have no idea. I don't want to assume anything.
Yeah.
But it's definitely
Probably a bad idea to assume.
definitely Oriental.
Can't say
Oh, that's funny. All right, let's go to this next one up here, this the middle one.
Cringeworthy.
Dude, public freakout is hilarious.
What is it? What do we got here?
It's I don't know.
Oh God, I'm not gonna hit you. Oh God, I'm not gonna
Oh yeah,
hit you.
beg me.
Oh God, I'm not gonna hit you. You're not gonna touch me. Nope. You're gonna go home. On God. On God. On God. Let go.
Oh, she's gonna hit her. I knew she was gonna hit her. I knew she was gonna hit her.
Dude, and she goes, I don't believe it. She's like, you
Okay.
said on God? It's
So
like,
this is-
okay, on God.
That reviewer.
I don't believe in God.
See,
He just
that
starts bumbling.
reviewer is gonna be like, how come you're always showing a black person hitting a white person? Do you
Had nothing to do with
do
that.
you-
I thought it was a funny
Do
clip.
you have a video of?
I
a
just
white
saw
person hitting-
Asian people fight in here.
Okay.
And I got it. Last one here. Last video I have. Okay. We've just got to eat babies, you guys. You want to save the climate.
Because of the climate crisis. We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of fossil fuel. It's not going to solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor is saying, we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough. So I think your
What's her
next
shirt
campaign
say?
slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you, you're a pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you're really supporting the Green Deal, but it's not enough. Even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many people, too much pollution. So we have to get rid of the babies. That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies is not enough. We need to eat the baby.
Hold on, let this play. Is there not more?
No, that was it.
We don't see her reaction, AOC's reaction.
She
to
was
it?
probably like, thank you. It's
She's
probably
like,
very disappointing. Like,
yeah,
thank you. It is, we definitely need to think about that.
Listen, if that person is a real person, and those are her real thoughts, and she was not acting or playing a character.
Fun Twitter stuff that she did.
Let me just say, I can't take her seriously with the barrettes that she was wearing. Okay, those were
those little hair things.
Those hair barrettes were absolutely ridiculous.
That's what I was focusing on too.
And then also the fact that she took her jacket off and had like a handwritten shirt ready to go. It's like, come on.
It could have easily been a troll.
It's a troll. It's a troll. Nobody. We all saw that article that
That's
they
why
were
the
like,
right is- if this is true.
And see, that's what I was talking about with the disinformation. It's like, okay, so the Green New
I
Deal
found her
comes out,
reaction.
and then okay, yeah, let's find it. Let's listen to this. Okay, do you have it queued up?
Yeah.
We'll go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, sit down,
No,
sister.
we'll go ahead. No. Yeah, no. Thank you. So I think So
Yeah, no.
one of the things that's very important to us is that we need to treat the climate crisis with the urgency that it does present. Luckily, we have more than a few months. We do need to hit net zero in several years. But I think we all need to understand that there are a lot of solutions that we have. And that we can pursue, and that if we act in a positive way, there's space for hope. We are never beyond hope.
Yeah. Okay. So she didn't say that. Yes, we should eat babies.
No, she didn't agree to
let's
it.
Just,
I wasn't trying to say
for
that
the
at all.
record,
You were like, oh
I
my,
was- I
thank
was-
God it wasn't a black guy. God, thank God it wasn't a white guy.
Oh my gosh.
That SNL skit, by the way, was hilarious. We were talking about that earlier.
Man, I wish we could play that. Let's talk about that though for a quick second. One of the greatest SNL skits. If you guys, SNL is back. I know a lot of the right-leaning folks probably don't like SNL because it is. I mean, look. If you were in the Young Republican Americans Club, you probably were not also in the Drama Club. Okay, I'm assuming here, and I'm making a grand statement.
You're speculating at this point. Go ahead.
So
just be honest about it.
So I get it that SNL is not your thing, and it is a lot more liberal
I watch
folks
it every week.
that are the guests on there. I mean, we had Woody
skip most of the
Harrelson.
guests.
Woody
I liked- that
Harrelson
was a good
the
episode.
opening, but he ended with the Greta T-shirt,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you
I
were
guess.
like, "Oh,
Actually,
Groner.
I actually really
How
don't
dare
care
he."
about the
Yeah,
Greta thing.
I don't like chicks that have burgers coming out of their butt. So and
Nothing burger.
So we had this episode, which was great. It was two black news anchors and two white news anchors, and they were telling their stories. They're like what tit for tat, like news story after news story, and they were like excited when the opposite race was represented as the criminal in the case. So I feel like that's an important skit. It was funny. It was funny. It was well done. It was well written, but it was important because it is election time, and we're going to start seeing this like fighting to get the bad clip of Trump, fighting to get the bad clip of
It's coming.
of Biden,
It's coming.
fighting to get the bad clip of Warren. I'm just telling you, folks, this is where you really got to do your homework and start, do like what Carlos did. He did some research and he found out about Citizens United. Way too much, and it's all a bunch of boring ass shit.
Yeah, don't look into anything when someone's telling you
this
what to believe in.
Citizens United sucks because it basically upheld a legal precedent from years ago. So it's terrible that we're in this world.
It's terrible
where,
you don't believe in free speech, but that's okay.
I believe in free speech. I got to put up this thing because I think we're close to the end of the show.
We
So
are
look,
very close.
10 at 10. We're here every week. Channel 10 on Austin Public. Go to the Podbeam. Go to the Facebook. Go to the YouTubes. Go to the whatever else we're on. I don't know.
EmergencyExitPodcast.com. Check us out on iTunes.
Hey,
EMEX Pod on Twitter.
And to our buddy Austin, who he hates you, but he doesn't hate you. Hopes and thoughts and prayers are sending to you in the hospital, right, man?
Oh man.
Hope you're gonna get better soon. Drink your milk and your vitamin B and all your vitamins, brother. And we're thinking of you, man. And thanks for listening to everybody that called in. Your buddy Zach, even though he's a dummy, and then he doesn't agree with me. He doesn't agree with me, so he's obviously
I agree with you on many things.
Brainwashed. So thanks to Brando. Brando, where you at,
right
dude?
Here, right here,
there he
right
is.
here.
There he is. And
check us out next week. Same
dude,
bat time, same bat channel.
What's our man here? What? JR? JR, how do I get you? Look in this camera over here.
We're close to being off.
There he is. That's JR.
We're gone. That's right.
All right. We got him in there.